Hey guys, wanted to take a quick minute here to discuss a niche in real estate that I'm going to start with, that I don't have a lot of experience in, but it is becoming more and more relevant, and that is the short-term vacation rentals. In the last handful of years, you've watched VRBO, Airbnb, cabin rentals, vacation rentals absolutely take off. People are finding a way to find value and additional income out of their otherwise just vacant assets. You're seeing that in the car industry as well. People are renting their cars out while they're at work because otherwise their car just sits. All these things are great, very unique, intuitive things that are unbelievable and taking off, right? And that definitely is the case with these short-term vacation rentals or just short-term rentals in general. Again, I do not have the experience in this. I've stayed at a lot of Airbnbs and VRBOs, and it's probably my main choice of travel. If I'm going to go, I usually try to find an Airbnb before you go to a hotel room. It's kind of, my girlfriend Kate had this conversation about this. When you go into a hotel room, you know what you're walking into. There's a few basic layouts, and you know what's going to happen. They might a little bit impress you, maybe a little bit not impress you, but you know what you're getting. But when you walk into an Airbnb, you're walking into a house, and all houses are different. So you get to open a present. You're like, what did we rent? And it's a neat experience, and it unlocks some emotion that you maybe will pay a little bit more for. And generally, you get much more bang for your buck on an Airbnb or VRBO. So it's an awesome concept. I know several people that do this full time. This is all they do. I know groups that go into good locations in big metropolitan areas, ones like Austin, Texas, Milwaukee. I know somebody that does it in Indianapolis. Go right downtown where they have to have these laws and covenants in leases and municipalities, but they'll rent out an apartment. They won't move in. They'll furnish the apartment. Say they rent it for $1,200 a month. They furnish it, and then they Airbnb it, and they'll end up making $1,500, $1,700, $1,800 a month. And that's all they do. They have 10 leases in apartments around the city. They don't even own these spaces, guys, and they just furnish them and rent them out. And all that cash flow on top of their rental payment goes in their pocket. And that's a very good model. It works for them. I do not know about that. I do not know how to run that business. So if you're thinking about getting into vacation rentals, I am not the person. I'm not the expert. I have very little experience. What I will talk about is what experience I do have in it. And we'll do kind of a case study because this is something that's actively going on right now. And then in about 3 months, I'll recap and I'll tell you guys exactly how it went, the good and the bad. Here's the situation. So every summer, usually, I try to take out offline a lot of my stuff. I should preface it. I have a lot of student rentals by colleges in Wisconsin. So a lot of times the kids will go home for those 3 months. Some of the kids stay, but a lot of times they go home. I'll take a unit offline, remodel it over the course of the summer, have the kids move back in August. So I got to take the unit offline, fix it up, possibly raise rents, and it sat vacant, so I didn't collect rent for 3 months, and then they move in. And now it's back online, and I don't have to touch it again for another 6, 8, 10 years, hopefully. My thought, I've seen this very much take off, why don't I, and this is what we're doing at the beginning of June, we're going to renovate this flat. It's a 2-bedroom flat. We're going to renovate it for the first 2 weeks or so. It's probably going to take us. Then we're going to furnish it, stage it, take a bunch of pictures, market it on Airbnb, and hopefully rent it out over the next 2.5 months. That's our hope, our thought. In the summer, people are doing things. In this particular market, there's a lot of things going on in the summer that draw people to the area, right? There's a whole bunch of, in this particular market, music festivals. It's by a big university. Personally, I played hockey at that university. We have an alumni golf event every year where guys come in from all over the country to golf / more just get inebriated with old friends, right? And what do you want to do when you go back to your old university? Do you want to sit at a hotel room out in the burbs? Or do you want to be right downtown where all your memories were made? Well, I think that's a very simple question, right? You want to be downtown where the action is, where your event that you were there to be, where the event you came to be at is. You want to be downtown. So that's the theory I'm going off of with this. I do not know if it's going to work out. I think it should work fine. This flat is within about 2 blocks of a lot of local establishments that people are going to want to go to. And the hope is, right, that once we market this, stage it, put the pictures up, most of the weekends for the rest of summer will probably be booked. You know, I think some of the weekdays will probably sit vacant. Now, a lot of people are coming into the market during the week, unless maybe there's a couple people with week-long stays. We'll see. But that's the premise and the thought that I put into this. Now, let's think about a return on this for this summer. The big upfront cost, besides the investment in the property, which I already own the property in this scenario, I have to now furnish the apartment. I've estimated that furnishing this apartment is going to cost me about $4,000. I do not think that I will get $4,000 in income in the next 2.5 months with that. So you would think that this is a loss. Like I'm going to invest $4,000 and I hope if I made $2,000, that would be about 20 nights renting out the rest of the summer, I would consider this a success. But what I'm going to do is use this, take all this furniture, all the little things that go into furnishing an Airbnb, put them into storage and take them out next year. So next year I won't have that $4,000. And that's my hope. So I won't see a return this year, but in the coming years, hopefully, if we take good care of the stuff, store it well, I'll be able to reuse that same $4,000 and maybe see a future return. So instead of having 3 dead months of a unit, I have eliminated a lot of that and hopefully can trim it down to maybe only like 1 month dead and still get 11 months worth of rent. That's my theory. I will walk through that with you guys so you can see it. We've already started marketing the unit. It has not gone well for the sole reason of we have on the Airbnb, we have a picture of the front of the house and nothing else. We have, if you've ever been on Airbnb, they usually have very awesome, elaborate stage pictures. We have nothing because we have not renovated the house and furnished the house. So we're waiting for that. But we already have, I think, 2 bookings for the summer, which is awesome. It's 2 bookings that I would not have had and the unit or flat would have sat vacant if I did not do this. So I think it's a very neat concept and I'm just learning it. The only other walks down this path that I've had, I'm actually looking at some cabins up in northern Wisconsin right now to do this with. I don't know how that works. I don't know exactly. If you're looking at doing that, I think you should probably talk to some real estate property managers up there and figure that out. But yeah, that's my experience in short-term vacation rentals. You guys will be right there every step of the way as I break my nose in this and cut my teeth in this. This is my first one, my first Airbnb per se. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I plan to do it every summer if it goes decently well, because I would have taken the unit offline anyways, so we might as well see if we can make some income. But yeah, that's it. And I'll give you an update on that probably in September after we wrap that up, and I'll tell you exactly how it went. Thanks, guys. Take care.